group is holding a meeting tonight on gangs and drugs in our neighborhoods. In early May, several Waynesboro buildings were tagged by members of two area gangs, the Bloods and the Crips. Tonight's presentation is in reaction to the taggings and is hosted by the SAW Coalition. The Coalition is a program of the Central Shenandoah Valley Office on Youth. SAW is devoted to gang and substance abuse prevention. And joining us now to discuss the gang problem is Diane Kellogg, the gang prevention coordinator of the SAW Coalition. SAW stands for Stanton, Augusta County, and Waynesboro. Diane, thanks for joining us.
Oh, you're welcome, Bob.
Now, Diane, the group was called SAW 2010. Now it's called the SAW Coalition. Why the change?
When SAW 2010 was formed, it was formed from the Child Care Connection Coalition, and it was formed from a grant that they received, the Office on Youth received from the OJJDP, and it was a 3-year grant. So the idea was at the end of 3 years to see where our community was in 2010 as far as wrapping their hands around our gang problem. Here we are in 2010, and we have over 50 people who have signed MOUs as part of our coalition. We have over 200 people on our listserv, and we're going strong. So we're not going anywhere. Therefore, we got rid of the 2010, and we're called SAW Coalition now.
MOUs, what are MOUs?
Memorandums of Understanding.
Okay, so that's agreeing to be involved in the battle?
Exactly. Different agencies, government officials,
okay.
People sign those.
Okay. Now, what will you cover at tonight's presentation?
Tonight we're going to talk about what gangs are doing, what SAW is doing, and what you can do, or what community members can do.
All right, let's start out. What are gangs doing?
Well, gangs, as you said, early in May, gangs were very busy tagging our community, writing on our walls. Gangs are very active in drug dealing, assaults, thefts. They're pretty active in doing criminal activities.
All right. What are the number of members of gangs in Stanton, Augusta, Waynesboro?
Well, the closest numbers that I have are when I started in this position in 2007, I was told there were 150 known gang members. Last year they told me there were about 300, but we're currently doing a countywide assessment so we can better answer those questions.
All right. So what is SAW doing for gang prevention?
SAW, we're trying to attack it on 3 fronts, if you will. We have 3 subcommittees. One subcommittee is our Community Education Committee, and they are charged with going out into the community and doing what we're doing tonight, is educate our community about the presence of gangs. The other subcommittee is called our Recognition and Recruitment Subcommittee, and they are recruiting volunteers from the community who we call want to step up and be part of the big picture. So our education group goes out and educates. Then we try to recruit members to build relationships with youth so that the gang members won't build relationships. And then we recognize the people from the community and the businesses, faith-based, government, anybody else who steps up. We recognize them for going the extra mile for their community. And our third subcommittee is called our CGM, or Comprehensive Gang Model Committee, and they're the ones who are charged with doing the overall assessment of our community so we can target what we're shooting at, meaning...
Okay. All right. What can residents do, briefly?
Residents can be part of that big picture. They can step up to be in, build a relationship with one of our youth as part of a youth-serving organization. What we're trying to do is we know gang members will go out and build relationships at all costs, so we want our community to do that also. All
right, Diane Kellogg of the SAW Coalition, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Now, the Gangs and Drugs presentation will take place tonight from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Solid Rock Cafe, 1217 Broad Street in Waynesboro. The presentation itself begins at 6:30. Now let's